Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning. It's always great to start your day in Balboa Park. Am I right? It's all right. I'm joined this morning by City Council President Pro Tem Stephen Whipper. Stephen is here. A host of city employees. Everyone, thank you so much for what you do, all members of our city family. And of course, a number of park stakeholders led by Roger Sholey and the Committee of 100, who you'll hear from in just a moment. You know, we wanted to take the opportunity this morning to report to the public on a number of improvements that we have made in Balboa Park over the last year. Balboa Park is, of course, the city's crown jewel, and we want to highlight for the public, many of whom may not have been to the park in the last year or so, some of these improvements and encourage them to come to the park to see them for themselves. Taken as a whole, what we're hoping to convey to the public is that Balboa Park is experiencing a renaissance of investment that demonstrates our city's commitment to making sure that we're maintaining Balboa Park as the premier attraction that it is and as the heart of San Diego that we all feel it to be. Now, of course, we don't make these investments on our own. While I would love for the city's general fund to be able to maintain the park as we would expect it, the truth of the matter is that's not possible. And what we are fortunate to have is a number of philanthropic, nonprofit, and cultural institutions that help us. We also have some incredible leaders up in Sacramento, specifically members of the California State Legislative Delegation from San Diego, who have been really instrumental in delivering the dollars that have made these improvements that we'll show you today possible. So this morning, we're going to lead a walking tour, Councilmember Whitburn and I, starting here, and we're going to go through the heart of the park to highlight a number of the investments that have been made. Starting out here, though, of course, we're in the Palisades part of the park. Many of you were here not long ago when we dedicated this public plaza. For the folk, anyone who's been here for any period of time, remember we used to park a lot of cars right here. This was the place that you got out of quickly. And instead, what we have now is a place where folks linger. And for many of you who've been here on the weekends, you see a beehive of activity, of families, of individuals, of athletes, of people enjoying this space. And of course, it is our hope over a period of time that this space, that those visitors will start migrating into the Air and Space Museum, the Automotive Museum, and the soon-to-open Comic-Con Museum, which, as many of you know, is scheduled to open next week. Before I hand things over to Roger Sholey, I would point out that not only did we to Councilmember Whipper, not only have we reclaimed this particular space, but you have seen the restoration of the Automotive Museum and these beautiful tile mosaics that are behind me. You've seen the repainting of the municipal gym and the recently completed repainting of our federal building, the future home of Comic-Con. These repaintings were done largely by our city staff, and so I'd ask you all to put your hands together in appreciation to our incredible city employees who did this work. They are pretty awesome. And just a quick aside, I was here one Sunday morning. I had a little bit of time off. They give me time off at about 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. That's the hole in the schedule if anyone wants to schedule something. And so I was here being a little bit nosy, and I was watching one of our city workers working on the municipal gym that early hour. I asked him how he was doing. He's a little sad to be away from his daughter, but the pride that he had in helping to restore this iconic building was evident. And I know that he is representative of the 11,000 people who make this city work, and so I appreciate you giving that round of applause. We have some great folks, and they're worthy of acknowledgement and of praise. So I'll stop there, although we were going to go through some more stuff. You'll hear some more from me. But I'm pleased to turn it over to my partner in Balboa Park. The mayor does a lot, but the mayor and the council do everything together. And in this case, I have a great partner in helping to lead Balboa Park, the council member who represents District 3, where we are today, and of course our City Council President Pro Tem, Stephen Whitburn. Stephen, can you give us a few words?
Thank you very much, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to our wonderful city team. It is really great to be with you this morning. If you look around, you can see why I am proud to represent Balboa Park on the City Council, following leaders who previously represented this district on the City Council, including now Mayor Gloria, Assembly Member Chris Ward, State Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins. And I want to thank them because it has been exciting to see so many improvements come online here in Balboa Park during the first year on the council. And they are improvements that my predecessors initiated. And it is really exciting to see the results of all the work that they put into this. A world-class city needs a world-class park. And Balboa Park is treasured by San Diegans and tourists alike. This Balboa Park Renaissance highlights the tremendous work that is being done to make our Balboa Park everything that we know it can be. In April, we celebrated the opening of the new viewing platform for the iconic Morton Bay fig tree. The summer saw the opening of several new international cottages here in the park. We celebrated the reopening of the Mingay International Museum. The list goes on. And this morning, we're going to see many other of the important improvements that have been made here in Balboa Park. I was also pleased to see $3.7 million in much needed state funding allocated for renovations in the Casa del Prado. That's home to many of our youth arts organizations. And I look forward to seeing the work that's going to be done in that area of the park to help those organizations that are continuing to serve San Diego's youngest generation. And there is more that we can do. Balboa Park and our arts and culture organizations not only improve the quality of life for all San Diegans, they serve as economic drivers for our region. And I am committed to working with my council colleagues and Mayor Gloria and our other local leaders and community partners to continue improving and investing in our city's crown jewel. One of those community partners that has done a tremendous amount to restore our historic park is the Committee of 100. And the organization has been working since 1967 to preserve Balboa Park's historic architecture and gardens and public spaces. And I am pleased to introduce the president of the Committee of 100, Roger Sholey. Roger?
Balboa Park looks beautiful any time of the day or night, even in fog like this or even rainy days. It's a wonderful place. And our Committee of 100, which was founded, as Stephen Whitburn said, 1967, originally focused on the Prado area, but 6 years ago we moved to the Palisades, where we are today. It was the site of the second exposition, the California Pacific, in 1935, and at the depths of the Depression, civic leaders wanted to revive the economy with a big show-filled party. In this space was where music, educational displays, and a nighttime sound and light show appeared. There was a Roads of the Pacific attraction in Ford cars that came off an assembly line in the Ford building over to my right. Exhibits included the House of Magic, where guests saw the first television on display on the West Coast and popcorn cooked by microwaves. There was even a nudist colony at Zorro Garden, of all things. And after the fair, all the Hollywood set, lighting, and decoration were removed, and a giant parking lot was built in this space. This is what many of us ruefully refer to as the ugly stepsister of Balboa Park. In the last year, we've accomplished what had been planned for more than 30 years. With our encouragement, the city turned half the parking lot into this Palisades Plaza. Pedestrians dodge cars no more. Now we see inline skaters, ballroom dancers, and kids on trikes enjoy one another as onlookers watch from umbrella tables and chairs. Next, we underwrote the cost to repaint the Automotive Museum as historic bagel and honeymoon colors, and city workers did the rest. We spent years researching, fabricating, and in April installed 576 ceramic art tiles that recreate the monumental murals at the entrance to what was originally the California State Building. They depict from left commerce, scenic beauty, agriculture, bounty, and industry. They lend a sense of optimism for the future, that California was on the comeback trail of prosperity, a feeling we all hope is growing today. In the new year, we will bring back 2 life-size grizzly bear statues that watched over the plaza from the roof. And here's a model of what the bears will look like. We call them Red and Fern, in honor of the Red Fern family, whose bequest made the $715,000 project a reality. And today we honor 15 artists who took up the challenge to celebrate the project's completion. In the first ever park-wide design competition for a poster, first place went to Antonio Mustaco, who made this beautiful poster right here. And he's, of all things, a former pastry chef who went back to college to earn a graphic arts degree earlier this year. Congrats to Antonio. Now we're gearing up for the restoration of the municipal gym next year. It will feature a similarly monumental piece of public art, a bas-relief depicting themes of what was originally the Palace of Electricity and Varied Industries. And this is the model of what this is going to look like. This is like 18 by 22 feet over the entrance to the municipal gym. a bronze-like bas-relief depicting symbols of the electricity and varied industries in that building. The event that will change everything in the park is happening next week, as the mayor said, the opening of Comic-Con Museum. Untold thousands of popular arts fans will attend shows, lectures, training sessions, and just plain have fun. The whole new demographic will stream into the park and add a heightened level of vitality both day and night. To prepare for their arrival, as he said, C100 and Comic-Con teamed up to mount a GoFundMe campaign to underwrite the paint and materials this fall to repaint what was originally the federal building at the 1935 fair, and in recent years the Hall of Champions and Sports Museum. And there's more, as there always is in Balboa Park. C100 will relaunch a planning drive next year to bring back the fabulous Firestone Singing Fountain and its Sound and Light show to the middle of this plaza. We just need one donor with $3 million who can make it happen. Save Starlight is on the verge of launching a $5 million first phase of its ambitious plans to reopen this cherished venue with a whole new approach to musical performances. The second phase to finish the job is likely to cost $20 million or more. The Auto Museum is planning a $22 million annex behind its building that will take the love of car culture to greater heights. And at the Air and Space Museum, we hope to repaint it and add neon light flourishes to its facade as they were in 1935. There are concepts afoot to plant a night garden, reconfigure the federal parking lot, link the Palisades Inspiration Point to San Diego High School, City College, East Village, and other surrounding neighborhoods. And we will press the city to reactivate this pedestrian space with food, beverage, and entertainment at all hours of the day and night. The Palisades is the park's ugly stepsister no more. It's going to be the place to be in Balboa Park as we head toward the 2035 centennial of Balboa Park's second exposition. Now on to the House of Pacific Relations. Thank you.
Roger, thank you. I invite all of you to join Roger, Councilmember Whitburn, and I as we go on a walking tour. This is our first stop where we're highlighting, as you heard, the Palisades Park reclamation, the Automotive Museum tile and ornamentation project, the exterior and ornamentation projects for a municipal gym, and then of course the Comic-Con Museum opening. We'll have 4 more stops. We hope to do that over the next 40 minutes. We're going to be quick. Get your steps in. Join us. You hear from the leaders of the International Cottages, the Mingay, the Timken, and we're going to end with some words from our Parks and Recreation Director. Again, thanks to our city staff who is here, our general services, fleet folks, all the wonderful city staff. Guys, get back to work. We need your help. Grateful for what you do. All right, on to stop number 2, everybody. Thank you. We're in the House of Pacific Relations, International Cottages. People love this place. You want to dance, you want to eat when you're here. Let me introduce you to Eugenia King, who is the lead for the nonprofit that leads this place, to tell you more about some recent improvements in this area. My dear.
Thank you. Thank you very much all for coming out today. We are in the south courtyard of the new International Cottages, or of the House of Pacific Relations. And we are so excited to finally have this stuff built. So we like to show off these 9 new International Cottages that we have built here in Balboa Park. These 4 are in the south courtyard and 3 are in the north courtyard, which in the north section of the park. Logical, isn't it? So getting these cottages built was a long, long dream, and we have worked to get this accomplished since before I had any gray hair. So it's definitely taken us a time. It's been a long road, a difficult road, but we have had a lot of help along the way. Mayor Todd Gloria has been along on this road since he was Stephen Whitburn, since he was Area 3 representative. So it's been a long road. We have had a lot of support from the mayor's office, from the city staff, from all of our elected officials, from all of the park staff. That have been very supportive, and we could not have done any of this without any of them. I mean, the amount of work that the park staff does for all of these events or for all of the items happening in the park is unbelievable. And while the vast majority of the funds to build all of these cottages were raised by small-time individual donations, we did get a grant from the state and from the city. and it would have been very difficult to have this completed without that. So here in the South Courtyard, we have Korea, India, Peru, Chamorros, Palestine, and Turkey. In the North Courtyard, we have Mexico, Panama, and the House of Philippines. So we're all looking forward to showcasing all of these cultures to San Diego's residents and visitors alike. So please come join us on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.
All right, get some more steps in. All right, that's stop number 2. You're going to hear a common theme, though. A lot of persistence, a lot of patience, a lot of cobbling together of funds, but ultimately San Diegans win, right? We get stuff done, right? And this is what we're trying to illustrate today. I want to make sure that I acknowledge, as we're walking, for some of the journalists who are here, we're joined by a number of key partners in the community. We have Peter Comiskey from the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership, the folks that run these buildings that bring them to life. We have Connie Matsui, who's here from Forever Balboa Park, one of our key partners. There's just a number of key Balboa Park leaders, so feel free to ask them. They can tell you that story of persistence, of resolve, and that's what's leading to the results that we're showing today. So let's head on up to Mingay. Some of you covered it recently, but it deserves more attention. What Rob and the team here at Mingay has done is absolutely transformational. Rob, my mother-in-law, came here on Sunday. She was doing backflips. She came back and said everything I promised her and more was what she experienced. So good job. To tell you more about the renovation, the extensive investment that has been made here during the pandemic is the leader of Mingay Museum, Rob Simon. Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everybody. We're thrilled to be able to reintroduce the new Mingay to all of you today as part of this walking tour highlighting all of the new investment in the park. We have just completed here at Mingay International Museum a $55 million total renovation of the museum. We're really thrilled to make this gift in the city-owned building to the park and to the city. We had 3 main objectives that we were trying to accomplish with this renovation. First of all, we wanted to increase the professionalism of the museum in every further way that we could. This meant particularly new use of the space, multiple use of the space, optimal use of what is always limited space with the museum. A museum is always wanting to grow and expand. Secondly, and much more important, was our desire to physically open up the museum to the public in further ways. And with that, to make truly a psychological opening, an emotional opening, a true welcome to all of the city of San Diego and to all of our various communities. We want them to know that this is their museum, that this is a public space meant for everybody. We accomplished this particularly by making the entire plaza level of the museum, what we call the Commons, a public space always open to the public at all times without any cost. Here on this level, we have an introduction to the museum, to our collection, a taste of what it is all about, along with the museum store, walk-up cafe, an education center, and a restaurant, Artifact at Mingay, that opened yesterday. We're thrilled to be able to announce. And it's good. You're going to enjoy it very, very much. There's also on this level a new courtyard, a new public space for the museum, the result of our being able to use a very underused loading dock that the Old Globe and SDAI allowed us to take the space and reuse it as a new building, a new museum, 120-seat museum. We're thrilled to be able to make this available to many other groups in the community with a special program we're calling Community Mondays, allowing nonprofits without such a wonderful new space the opportunity to use it without any fee of any kind. Besides, we've been able to open up the tower, put our new grand staircase in it, and open up the terraces above the arcade, which had been here in 1915, but had not been used for quite some decades. We were able to ask the city's permission to re-engineer them for the public use, and they are really very popular space. We also put in a new driveway with the city's request, right at the south end of the property outside the theater, in order to make that whole area now so much safer. Everybody had to walk in the street before, and now there's a wonderful new walkway from Alcazar Garden parking lot right up here into the Plaza de Panama. I think that's enough. You've got to move on. Thank you very, very much.
That's pretty concise for over $50 million of improvements. Rob, congratulations on what's been done here. I hope folks will come check out Mingay, and I hope that you'll join us at stop number 4. Got 2 more to go, just that away. While you do, check out the resurfaced Prado, which looks amazing. You know, I love a freshly paved street. I also like freshly paved public walkways. Join us at the next stop. Without any further ado, I give you the guy that has both the best and the toughest job at the city, our Director of Parks and Recreation, my friend Andy Field. Andy, come on up, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good morning, everyone. It's really a great day to be here in Balboa Park, San Diego's crown jewel. And as the mayor has mentioned, it's great to see so many wonderful stakeholders here in support of the park. And believe me, we could not do this alone. It does take a village, and we appreciate each and every one of you who have been supportive of the park. Just a couple of very quick comments. With the support of state legislators, and Mayor has already mentioned them by name, we are in receipt of a very large state grant that will enable us to get the Botanical Building, this beautiful historic building behind me, and have that building be reconstructed. There's been work that's been occurring over the past, almost 10 years now with the Balboa Park Conservancy and now Forever Balboa Park to reimagine this great space and make it really work for all San Diegans. So as we're getting excited and seeing just such a massive improvement getting underway here in the new year, as you'll see fences going up in 2022 for the first phase of work, I would like to then introduce to you the, I forget your exact title, Connie, but you are, yes, co-chair of Forever Balboa Park, Ms. Connie Matsui. Connie?
Thank you so much, Andy, and thank you to the city and to the state for such a fantastic public-private partnership to bring the Botanical Building to full life for everyone who visits the park. We actually started, as Andy mentioned, this project, dreaming about this project several years ago. In 2019, we had the honor of donating 60% completion drawings to begin the construction process, or to begin the construction planning process. And some of the things that you'll have to look forward to as we begin phase 2 following the reconstruction by the city and state for phase 1 are, for instance, enhanced lighting for the whole building so that we can have additional hours for visitors to relish the jewels inside the Botanical Building and outside the Botanical Building. We'll have state-of-the-art irrigation, more spaces for public enjoyment, accessible pathways, donor recognition, and much more programming. Programming that will offer educational opportunities, enrichment opportunities, and hopefully get the community much more involved in the horticultural wonders that this park has to offer. Thank you.
Needs no introduction.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Megan Pug, Executive Director of the beautiful Timken Museum of Art. Sorry we didn't have the sun out here for you today. Everybody knows Balboa Park is the cultural center of San Diego, and what a great opportunity for all of us arts and culture leaders and organizations to be able to showcase our jewel today. The Timken, as most of you know, has been under renovation. I think the pandemic, as tough as it was, gave a lot of us opportunity to get creative and try to make lemonade out of lemons. So when we were forced with the closure, we had the opportunity to accelerate some long-planned renovations. I think most of you know the Timken is the only mid-century modern building in the park. It's considered an iconic piece of art. We consider it to be part of our collection. It was designed in 1965 by Frank Hope and Associates and is considered one of the top 2 examples of mid-century modern architecture today. So we're very proud of that, but obviously 55 years, we needed a few upgrades and enhancements. So we took this opportunity to accelerate some long-planned renovations. We have some very exciting things for you all when the Timken reopens. We'll have brand new, a lot of things that you won't be able to see, unfortunately, but very important to us and to our collection. Some brand new HVAC. We've torn the ceiling apart, torn the walls apart, HVAC humidity, but most importantly, we are implementing state-of-the-art antiviral technology, which was actually developed for the Department of Defense. The Timken will be the only museum in the world that will have this system, and it actually kills up to 99% of airborne pathogens. So following a pandemic, what could be more important to our visitors and to the community than having a very, very pristine environment for you all? We're also doing some cosmetic enhancements that you'll see, new ceilings, new walls, new lighting, many, many beautiful things that you'll see when we reopen, which will hopefully be in early 2022. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank our mayor. What a great opportunity for all of us arts and culture organizations to have leadership at the city that understands the importance of arts and culture in our region. You cannot have a vibrant city without a thriving arts and culture community. So we are so grateful for this opportunity, and we look forward to seeing all of you in 2022. Thank you.
Megan, thank you so much for that. And the Timken remains free when it reopens. It's free admission, so check it out. Also, again, check out that freshly laid area. You see this? It's so nice. So there's new water pipes underneath it too, because it's the stuff you see and can't see. Between that and arts and culture, we're a world-class city, everybody. All right, last stop, right over at the Morton Bay Fig Tree. Join us, okay? Thanks, guys.
I want to close out this stop here by looking behind us at the Casa del Prado building. This building was built as part of 1915 and consists of the theater as well as the larger complex off to the left or to your right. This building is going to be benefiting from some funds allocated by Assemblymember Chris Ward to address some of the ornamentation and to get the front area here nice and clean looking again, as well as doing interior improvements. You may be familiar with this building as many of our civic organizations meet in the room 101 inside of there, as well as the, I think we have the ballet, the civic dance arts, and also junior theater. So I want to make sure I catch that. It's Jimmy's here, right? So Jimmy from the theater. And I just want to comment that when you look at a building like this and you see the buildings back at the Palisades, all of our buildings will end up looking like that. And the investment made by the state and by the city to make this happen is really impressive and admirable. So we're looking forward to getting this project started in the near future, and again, appreciate the support. So with that, I turn it back over to Mayor Gloria for closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Round of applause for Andy Field, everybody. Just the most solid, nice person you'd ever meet, and a hard worker. Andy, I thank you so much for leading our Park and Recreation Department. So, but wait, there's more. Listen, we've covered a lot today, right? You saw the improvements in the Palisades area, the International Cottage expansion, Mingay's incredible renovation and reimagination, the Timken and their improvements, the planned improvements to the iconic botanical building. Andy just mentioned the Casa del Prado Theater. I want to point out we're standing in front of the Morton Bay Fig Tree viewing platform that was unveiled earlier this year. A lot of us have fond memories of climbing on that tree as kids. That's been off limits for a long time, but this is the next best thing, this viewing platform. It's a project of Forever Balboa Park. Now gives San Diegans a real opportunity to get up close, to see the tree up close, to realize how important trees are to reducing heat and a critical part of our climate strategy. So that was a project that was done earlier this year. Just over this wall, and some of that construction noise that you hear is the soon-to-be completed Children's Zoo, reimagination of the fabulous Children's Zoo and a part of our world-famous San Diego Zoo. They're nearly finished with their construction, and we're excited about that. There are some others. As you all know, Balboa Park is 1,400 acres, so we can't take you on all 1,400 acres. I'd like to, but I know your time is valuable and your feet will probably hurt. So I want to highlight the fact that over in Morley Field on the east side of the park, we are near completing a $4 million rehabilitation of the historic Bud Kearns Pool, which is nearly complete. I believe it will be open in just a few months' time. Many of you know the bumpy, pothole-filled Balboa Drive over on 6th Avenue runs parallel. Well, those bumps and potholes will be gone shortly as we're currently repaving and restriping that important street. Right here, the Natural History Museum is planning a wonderful landscaping project. In fact, you're seeing some of it right now as we speak, that will enhance the area surrounding the building with new native plants and to provide a curated natural experience at no cost to San Diegans. And the Fleet Science Center, just beyond that, is just reopened their newly upgraded giant dome theater with a stunning new audio and video projection enhancements. A lot of us love going to see some of those really incredible documentaries there. It's going to be an even better experience going forward. And the last thing I want to highlight this morning, although we could do even more, is the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership. Peter Comiskey was here earlier. Is focused on a new Balboa Park experience plan to improve the visitor experience throughout the core of the park, wayfinding, all that kind of stuff, the things that will make the coming to the park easier, more enjoyable. The Cultural Partnership is taking that on, and I'm very, very grateful. So we could go on about many of the things going on in the park, but I appreciate you all being here today to help us tell this story. You know, we know that we could do better by the park, and we're attempting to do that. Our crown jewel is our crown jewel, but we know it could use some polish, and we're doing that work. Everything from the water pipes down the Prado to the expansion of existing historic structures, to the rehabilitation and preservation of some of those historic properties. A lot is going on in the park, and I want to close with an invitation to the public. Number one, to come see it. If you haven't been to the park recently, I understand you may have been home and following the public health order. That's fantastic. But this is an open air park. Come here. You can see it. You can be safe. You can be confident. You can bring your family and come and support these institutions by buying admission. Don't just come on Residence Free Tuesday, although we all love Residence Free Tuesday, right? You're nodding your heads. Yeah, I know you do. I know you love it. But you can also come on days when they charge. That's totally cool too, right? We want to make sure we're supporting these organizations. And then importantly, think about maybe taking the next step of supporting some of these folks, whether as a contributor to the nonprofit organizations. My friend Jack Harkins is here from the Veterans Museum, which is just on the other side of Park Boulevard. An amazing cultural institution. There's plenty of ways that you can directly support these organizations, and you can of course also serve in the park. The park is run by many volunteers. We have great city staff that do great work, but so many of these organizations are run by volunteers who simply love this park and the organizations, and they contribute their time and talent and treasure to make it better. You know, these are the modern day Kate Sessions and Marstons and the folks that help make this park as we know it. That is actually a responsibility that many of us are continuing to maintain and contribute towards. And what I'm confident is that this park will continue to be here for another 100 years. They will continue to call it City's Crown Jewel, and they will be grateful to all of us for the investments that we've made over this pandemic year. When some might have said nothing could get accomplished, we have gotten a lot done in Balboa Park, and we aren't done yet. So come back to the park, check it out, continue to contribute, make be Kate Sessions, be your part in making sure this park moves forward, and check out what's going to happen in 22. You heard the Botanical Building, you heard other improvements that are worthy of celebration and recognition. Thank you for letting us tell you the story today. Come to the park soon. You won't regret it. Thank you, everybody.